Welcome to a new update. Today we're going to discuss the price action of Bitcoin as potentially we're going to get a correction. Finally, I've got the setup ready and I've been into the sun yesterday in Camps Bay. Have been burned like hell and still it hurts a lot. But here we are finally finishing the setup so I can actually go live with you as well. And right now we're going to discover or see what the price action of Bitcoin might actually be bringing. As right now we are having a swift correction after taking an important resistance level. So what are we going to get next? What I saw in the past few days is that everyone is jumping into altcoins again to rush into those, especially the ones that have been doing really well. I think those are relatively late longers, and right now you have to set back for a little bit to see where the markets are standing in order to get yourself into a strategy instead of just going mayhem on the altcoins. You should realize that the markets are still into territory where most likely the dollar is going to bounce, where the recession is going to kick in. And today we had a number coming in, which was the Empire State Manufacturing Index, which came in at minus 32, which is a contraction and lower than expected by far. Tomorrow it's also a big deal. Retail sales and PPI coming in, and I think that the data that is getting out there or that's standing there is relatively low in the forecast, which means that we probably are going to have a more swift correction taking place as the data will probably be higher than expected. And also there seems to be a theory that the Fed will not continue hiking, but I think that Powell has been showing that they stick to the policy unless something massive is going to take place. And right now we simply don't have that yet, but we do have overextended moves all around the markets. I'm not saying that we should, but after taking the crucial liquidity, we could be getting a very nasty correction, because if we turn around, it's going quite fast. You get a deep wick because of all the people that are into the longs at this point. But I'm not saying that we will, but we are going to look at a few important levels that you should be watching. First of all, we are having the higher time frame Bitcoin chart here, and we can see that the crucial level has been taken. So when we're looking at the crucial level, it's this high here, right? We were looking for a potential break of that high. Because if we break 21.6, we can easily start running towards 24k, and in this way we are currently having the sweep, but we're not granting ourselves continuation while the RSI is on a 90 at this point, which is the highest in a long time period, and we just recovered the entire drop that we witnessed when it came about FTX. If you're looking at the daily time frame, there's no real level that we can look at when it comes to support. We could be looking at a case that we're dropping all the way towards this range low, which is essentially 18.5, and that has to be done through macroeconomics still being worse. If that's going to be if that's going to be taking place, probably nobody wants to long Bitcoin when it comes to 18.5. When we're looking at the 4 hour, we can see that there's a bearish divergence starting to pop up here, and that we have been taking the liquidity, but no continuation to the downside yet. But we grant ourselves a few more important levels to watch, which is the one at 19.0. That's another level we should be taking into account, and there's another one which I slowly address in a little bit. When we're looking at the 1 hour, we can simply see that we're just continuing this grind up, right? So we've got a ton of liquidity beneath the lows here, and we have not been taking them yet, but we have been taking the liquidity above the high, which we have been seeing in the volume wick here, and we're just patiently waiting to either have the break to the highs again or that we're going to fall down. If you can look at the price action, you would conclude that there is a rising wedge structure taking place here, in which we can conclude that we've got these highs, and we can also conclude that we've got this here, which is most likely going to break down at some point. The question is whether we're going to have another sweep of the high or whether we're going to tumble over and then have a swift drop. Because if we tumble over, it can start falling with 1 to 1.5k in one go, as all the liquidity will be taken there, and then we're going to have a drop towards which level? It's very simple, towards the CME close level, which is at 19.8 to 19.5. So if we have a correction taking place, that is definitely the level that you should be looking at in order to get yourself positioned again into long entries, or at least a bounce theory. Now, if we're looking at the NASDAQ has been rallying today again. We have been trying to get above the highs, but we couldn't really continue lasting the rally. We have been closing this gap at least, but we couldn't continue the rally, which means that potentially tomorrow, with the data coming in, we're going to have a short-term reversal taking place. And in order to have that in place, you have to be watching the crucial levels on the dollar, as the dollar has been testing a lot the support once again and has been bouncing back up. This is the crucial one. If the dollar continues to go up from here and continues to rally, so this low has been tested here, we have been bouncing from it, through which we can continue running towards 103.5. If that happens, risk on will have pain. So then we are going to see this one continue the rally. Most likely the yields will show the exact same figure, and it's all depending on the data. All right. So in that way, recession is still going to come. And we still have a case where the dollar has been seeing tremendous amount of weakness already. It is eager for a relief rally. Yes, Bitcoin is also eager for that echo bubble or the fake relief rally when it comes to the Fed going to pause the hikes. But the recession is still there and the economic data is still worse. And if you take a look at the market and start looking at Ether at this point, Ether is also showing the exact same. It continued to grind upwards. However, we are still looking at a case where we're going to sweep the high. We've got a bearish divergence and are ready to fall over here. If Ether is not going to fall over, as we can see with these wicks, and continues to go towards the highs again, we can easily continue rallying towards the liquidity that we have above 1680. But in that case, I wanted to see continuation taking place on this correction or on this push already. But right now it just felt like we had to take the liquidity at the US Open and then reverse. Same goes for Bitcoin. If it wants to continue rallying and breaks to 21.5, I think that's the area where you want to get in. And then you can start running or taking longs towards 24 to 25k. This is going to reverse at the areas of 19.5 to 19.8 are the ones to watch. Tomorrow I'll be back with a fresh new update. Make sure to hit the like button, subscribe to this YouTube channel, and I'll see you again soon. Ciao.